All right, let's break this down. Because what's floating around the internet right now about Chrisean and her baby is straight up disturbing.
So there's been some medical documents that have been released that people are saying are the medical documents of Junior, Chrisean's son. I'm going to tell you where to go to watch this on YT in a minute. So I don't know if these are actually Junior's medical records, but I will say that the medical records appear to have been written by a medical professional, just the terminology that was used and stuff. Okay? I do believe there's somebody's medical records. All right? Now, the one thing that makes me a little leery about it is it says that the mother admitted to prenatal substance abuse, and it listed some substances that she admitted to. I just find it hard to believe that Chrisean would ever even admit that.
So here's what's going viral. Some wild screenshots popped up on TikTok and Twitter this week, and they allegedly show leaked medical records connected to Chrisean Jr. Now, I'm not saying they're 100% real, and I'm not saying they're fake either, but the internet is running with it.
Chrisean Jr.'s medical records been leaked. I don't know how true it is, but it's saying that he got all type of stuff and how she was being neglectful. But my thing is, if the doctors test the babies after they were born and they see that something, like if she was doing substances or something, she would have had to suffer the consequences. So I'm not sure if everything is true or not, but whoever did leak that is about to face some serious charges because the HIPAA laws, like, why would y'all leak that anyway?
And what's in those screenshots is heartbreaking. According to these posts, the baby allegedly tested positive at birth for opioids, cocaine, and alcohol. That's not even the end of it.
Apparently, somebody that leaked Chrisean Rock and Junior's medical records from when he was born, listing the list of issues that he had. One of the issues being alcohol fetal syndrome. Another one dealing with his ophthalmology, dealing with his sight. Something else dealing with pulmonary, dealing with his lungs. I'm gonna tell y'all like this: there's so much fake news going on right now. I'm going to take this with a grain of salt, even though the person who posted it tagged Blueface and Carlissa in it. Also proving that she didn't take no prenatal vitamins when she was pregnant. Listen, y'all, when you have a baby, there are so many tests that are performed during, after your labor, right? So if the doctors found something that could have been a cause due to the neglect of the mother, she would have had some type of consequence. Chrisean suffered no consequence, which is why I take this so-called news with a grain of salt. But we all know something going on. So I don't know if the hospital that she had the baby at, it is a well-known hospital for celebrities, and they do tend to cover shit up. But I'm pretty sure nobody not about to risk losing their license, misdiagnosing a child who's clearly having all of these difficulties and developmental delays. They're not gonna write something like, oh, the baby is healthy, when the baby not healthy. Like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they had advised her to get the baby certain kind of help, and they probably worded it on the paperwork as if it was natural causes and not due to the neglect of the mama. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? All I know is there's a story going around showing fake or true diagnoses and records from the baby. I don't know. But I'm going to look more into it, y'all. I'll come back if they,
There are also claims that the child was diagnosed with serious conditions like neonatal abstinence syndrome, seizure disorder, spasticity, and even something called cortical visual impairment, which basically means the baby's brain struggles to understand what the eyes are seeing. That's deep and scary. Now again, this is all alleged, but there's more. The supposed records also claim that the baby is being looked after by a full team of specialists. We're talking neurology, cardiology, orthopedics, like a whole squad of doctors involved allegedly. And here's the part that really got people shook. One section of these screenshots says the mother, again, allegedly Chrisean, admitted to using cocaine and drinking alcohol regularly while pregnant. That's what's being claimed. These posts are flying around so fast, folks don't even know what to believe. But if there's even a grain of truth in this, it's serious.
Out here breaking HIPAA laws. Apparently, there's some medical records of Chrisean and her baby floating around, and I don't know if it's true. This is all alleged, but I'm just gonna share what I learned. Maybe, allegedly. So it says that the baby suffers from fetal alcohol syndrome, and neonatal abstinence syndrome. So neonatal abstinence syndrome is basically the baby is withdrawing from opioids, some sort of drugs, but they're thinking either opioids or cocaine in this case. And allegedly, but he also allegedly suffers from spasticity, which is like a neurological disorder that makes it hard for people or babies to move their limbs. He also suffers from seizure disorder and CVI. Now, CVI is cortical visual impairment, which is just it means that a part of his brain has been damaged, the part of his brain that controls his vision. So he has blindness. Like a lot of people, I've heard people say this, but I just didn't believe it. But oh my God. It also says that he should be in palliative care. Now, I work in hospice, and a lot of people, they believe that palliative care and hospice is interchangeable, but it's not. Palliative care kind of focuses more on prolonging the life of the child or person in general. But in this case, if he should be on palliative care, he's got a very serious medical condition, and she needs to be taking care of him. How? As a mother, do you know these diagnoses, or do you know any of this information about your son and not help him in any way? Continue to live the same lifestyle that you lived before you had him. When you become a mother or father, but in this case, we're talking about mothers. When you become a mother, your life changes. You need to change, to adapt, to make sure that you are putting your child above yourself. Especially someone who has the serious medical issues that Junior has. Pathetic. She's pathetic. But all of these things are incredibly serious. I have literally no words. Chrisean disgusts me.
No matter where you stand on Chrisean, this ain't just drama. This is a baby's health being dragged into the spotlight. So here's where things get even crazier. The screenshots making rounds online were originally posted by an account going by the name King K's, but when I went to check the page myself, it was gone. Like, completely wiped off the map. No posts, no profile, nothing. It either got reported and taken down, or the owner deleted it themselves. Either way, the timing is very suspicious. Before the account vanished, they came out swinging. No sugarcoating, no filters. They straight up accused Chrisean, her whole circle, and even Blueface of flat out lying about the baby's condition. The post said people were trying to paint this picture like the baby was perfectly fine, when allegedly he's been battling a lot behind the scenes. And they didn't stop there. They clapped back at anyone trying to defend Chrisean, saying the proof is in the child, basically calling out the defenders for ignoring what's allegedly obvious. Now again, I'm not saying any of this is confirmed, all right? I don't know who got access to those files, I'm not verifying the authenticity, and I'm definitely not saying this is 100% fact. But what I can tell you is that these claims are spreading like wildfire across Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter. And people are split. Some believe every word, while others say it's just another hit piece meant to tear Chrisean down. But here's what really made me pause. I started doing some digging. Because my first thought was, if a baby really came into the world with all that in his system, wouldn't Child Protective Services have taken him right away? Turns out, it's not that simple. Hospitals are required by law to report if a newborn tests positive for drugs or alcohol. That part's automatic. The minute something pops up, they file a report with CPS. But that doesn't mean the baby gets removed right away. CPS has to assess the entire situation first. They look at the home. Is it stable? Is the parent cooperating with treatment or rehab? Are there relatives or a support system helping out? Is the child being fed, changed, getting medical care? They look at all of that. If they see a serious risk, they can remove the child temporarily. But if the parent is following court orders, like doing drug tests, parenting classes, going to treatment, letting the caseworker in for home checks, then the baby can legally stay at home, even with known exposure to substances. That blew my mind. So if the stuff in those leaked screenshots is even partially true, then as long as Chrisean is showing she's cooperating, trying to clean up and take care of her son, then CPS may have allowed her to keep custody under supervision. It's wild, but that's how it works. So here's where it gets real personal and a little complicated, because again, all of this is alleged. We still don't know who got their hands on those documents or if they're even legit. But we gotta talk about the reaction people are having, especially toward Chrisean. Now, to be fair, there's been a lot of heat coming her way online. Folks saying she's not getting her son the help he allegedly needs, calling her out like she's just out here ignoring the situation. But let's slow it down for a second. Do I know if she's actually getting Junior help? Honestly, no. Nobody on the outside can say that for sure unless they're living in her house. But here's the truth. She doesn't owe the internet an explanation. Is it important for her to get that baby help? Of course, no question. But is she required to broadcast every appointment or therapist she's seeing? Absolutely not. She doesn't need to hop on live and prove anything to strangers. What she does need to do is take care of that child behind the scenes, if these claims are true. Still, I really hope that baby is getting all the care and support he needs. Because if even half of what's in those screenshots is real, that little boy's gonna need a whole lot of love, therapy, and time to heal. Period. But I want to hear from y'all. Have you seen those documents floating around on TikTok or Twitter? Because when I read through them, I'm not gonna lie, my jaw was on the floor. Like, what is really going on? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you believe it? Do you think it's a smear campaign? Or is there some truth hiding in plain sight? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one.